This is my new Ashbury tenor guitar, which I bought from Hobgoblin in Birmingham a few weeks ago, with the intention of playing it like a baritone ukulele. In fact, when I bought it, I hadn't changed the strings because it comes tuned in fifths, and I wanted it tuned like the top four strings of a guitar, D, G, B, E. Some people call that the Chicago tuning. And I very soon changed my mind and reverted back to the original tuning, which is C, G, D, A, which is the same pitch, I'm told, as the viola. It's has the same logic to the fingerboard as the mandolin and the mandola and various other instruments tuned in fifths. The bouzouki, I understand, is tuned the same way. Which, if you know anything about it, I have a mandolin which I fiddle around with, so I appreciate the logic of the fingerboard, and although the stretch required on this instrument is considerably more than the mandolin, the voicings of the chords, even very simple chords, which is all I play at the moment, give it a certain individuality which I think is very attractive. Let me tell you a bit about the guitar. It's got a solid cedar top. The back and sides are solid koa, which, if you know anything about ukuleles, that's often the wood of choice for ukuleles, particularly those made in Hawaii. Rosewood fingerboard, open Grover tuners, which are very, very accurate. It has an onboard Fishman pickup and a built-in tuner, which again is very accurate. The binding is curly maple, and the rosette is abalone. It's a very beautiful little instrument, not cheap, and having bought it at Hobgoblin in Birmingham, I discovered that there were deals online which would have made it considerably cheaper, but I like Hobgoblin. They're very knowledgeable and very obliging, and it's good to be able to go into their shops and sit down and spend an hour or two just choosing instruments and playing them until you drive all the customers away, like me. It is a lovely instrument. It bears the Ashbury logo, which is the sort of house name for Hobgoblin, made in Vietnam, which many people might sort of raise their eyebrows at, but in my experience, both with ukuleles and this instrument, the craftsmanship is superb. I have no complaints about the way the instrument is finished, and it plays very well. It has amazing sustain. I don't very often play it through the amp, but when I do, obviously that makes a difference. But the actual sustain is. I don't know whether the iPad picks that up, but it's still ringing now, which is great. The reason I particularly like it is because although it's been a fairly steep learning curve in terms of new chord shapes and things, the sound is so different to a straightforward guitar, both for strumming see that my choice of chords is fairly limited, and that's one of the problems I've had since taking delivery of this guitar. There's very little online about the tenor guitar. If you want to learn finger picking on a 6-string guitar, or blues, or rock, or any particular genre that you care to choose, you can't go wrong. There's an endless supply of people willing to teach you, and that just isn't the case with the tenor, which is a bit frustrating. I discovered the website run by Will Fly, who is a superb player and a very generous man who has got all sorts of resources on there, including videos, backing tracks, free tabs, and all he asks is a donation. But if you're feeling mean, you don't even have to do that. But that's a wonderful site. He tends to play the instrument as a lead guitar, so he doesn't offer much in the way of tuition on chords. But having said that, he very generously gave me an individual lesson and put it up on his site, which I can access at any time. So thanks, Will. The other amazing resource is if you go onto YouTube and search for Mark Joseph's site. He the late Mark Joseph, sadly, I discovered him only a few weeks back, and sadly he died last year. But he's left some wonderful, very simple guidelines, and he founded the Tenor Guitar Foundation, which every year, every summer, has a gathering in Oregon, which is where he came from apparently. It would be nice to be able to nip over there and take part. But on their site, the TGF site, there are many videos and whole workshops which they videoed and put up. So that's well worth looking at. There is another site down in Wiltshire run by Al. I can't remember his surname, which is forgive me, Al. He too is very obliging, and sent me some arrangements of the sort of stuff that I like to play, and again very generously has been helping me. It would be nice to think that there are some people up there who might be providing Skype lessons on the tenor. Sadly, I haven't found them yet. So if there's anybody out there who happens to be looking at this video who can offer me lessons via Skype, or who happens to live anywhere near the English Midlands, I'd be very happy to hear from you. There are three tunings for the tenor. The Chicago tuning, which I mentioned earlier, is DGBE, and that tends to be, I think, mainly used by jazz players, which and I can see the attraction there, because if you play a 6-string guitar, all you've got to do is forget about the bass strings, and you've got a ready-made arsenal of chords. This is the traditional tuning, CGDA. The more popular one is the Irish tuning, which is GDAE, I think. and again, the relationship between the strings is exactly the same. They're tuned in fifths, not DGBE, of course. That's tuned as a normal guitar. But I'm enjoying it tremendously. I think it's a lovely little instrument, and hopefully I will improve in time. I have a long way to go, but I'm enjoying the journey. So I didn't mention this. The Ashbury, this model is the Lindisfarne, and it is a beautiful little instrument. So if you want one, get in touch with Hobgoblin and enjoy yourself. But I will try to put up the link to Will Fly's site and also the Tenor Guitar Foundation when I finish this video. I can thoroughly recommend both sites. Will Fly's is magnificent, and if you don't find something up there to whet your appetite, there's something wrong with you. Anyway, that's it. This is the Lindisfarne tenor guitar, and I think it's great. Thanks for watching, and I'll do my best to put up the details that I mentioned. Thanks for watching. A couple of points of clarification. When I mentioned Will Fly earlier, I said that he doesn't offer much in the way of chord tuition. In fact, he has a very excellent section on chord construction and fingerings, little animated film, which is very, very useful. So I apologise, Will. I also forgot the surname of Al Summers, who's the teacher who's based down in Wiltshire. He has a very good tutor, which is downloadable for, I think it costs £4, and for the beginner like me it offers some very, very good advice, and I can recommend that thoroughly. I've mentioned in the closing credits the websites of both Will and Al, and also the Tenor Guitar Foundation. So thanks again for watching, and I'm sorry about the omissions.